This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Lockdown Coverage Week number 8. The National Football League, the Bears, on the road taking on the New Orleans Saints. Bears playing outstanding football of late. Winners of 2 straight. Looking to make it 3 and back to 500 on the season. And this is a Bears team that I told you they were going to be competitive this year. I told you that before the season started. 1, I love John Fox as a head coach. 2, they can play some defense. I told you there were a lot of young, good defensive players on their defense. I saw it last year when they played everybody on their roster on defense. And I said, hey, there's a few of these guys that can actually ball. Then you get healthy and you get all of your guys back and you add to the mix some other guys that you like, and all of a sudden now this is a formidable Bears defense. And 3, they can run the football. And when you can combine the last 2 that I just mentioned, running the football and playing defense, you got a shot to win in any venue against any team. And so you knew this was going to be a tough one for the Saints. And they wouldn't go away. When this score was 14-3, heading to half, I said, okay, go do those boys in the second half, New Orleans. Run away with this thing. And they simply couldn't. And that's a testament to the Bears. Now, Mark Ingram had a lot to do with that. But nonetheless, the Saints couldn't put these boys away because they're feisty and they're a nuisance, are the Bears. And they're going to be that way the remainder of the season. As long as Jordan Howard is able to stay healthy, they're going to run the rock, they're going to play defense, and they're going to be in ball games. Mitchell Trubisky isn't at the point right now of his young rookie career where he can help this team win. They're going to have to win despite Mitchell Trubisky, which that's why I wasn't a huge fan of him starting. But he hasn't been terrible, and he's getting experience. So as long as you can protect him, he's not getting – and that's the only thing that I was really mostly concerned about was, can you protect this guy? Is he going to get his brains bashed? Well, no, they can protect him with the run game. And he can protect himself by using his legs when need be. So as long as you can keep the man upright and he's not getting crushed back in the pocket, I don't have a problem with Mitchell Trubisky playing. And he's not going to be a huge difference maker on the offensive side, as evident in this game, but he'll make some plays. He had a huge run with his legs in this game. He'll do that from time to time, something that you couldn't get out of Mike Glennon. So in any event, Saints make it 5 straight with a 20-12 victory over the Bears, and we'll talk about how that was achieved in this game. And I got a hot take on the Saints, and I want Saints fans to respond to this when you watch this video, because I don't think I've ever, under Drew Brees' tenure along with Sean Payton, I've never had this thought. It hasn't even been a fleeting thought in my mind ever since Brees has taken over the helm and Sean Payton has been your coach. I don't think this thought has ever passed through my brain pertaining to this Saints team. So I'll tell you that a little bit later on. Stick around for that. But if you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. If you're watching this video and you want to have your comment read, as long as it's pertinent to the topic of discussion, use the hashtag LouieTLive and I'll read that comment and address it on the air. Also, if you're on social media, so am I. I've got Twitter, I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, I've got YouTube. All of those links are down in the description below. Those links will help you stay in tune to this channel. Turn on those notifications so that you know when I go live, so you can join the discussion live. And also, if you are generous enough to donate, if you are in a position to donate, please do. These are the 2 ways you can donate to the Louie T Network: Patreon and PayPal. Both of those links that you see before you are down in the description of this video, along with the links to my social media platforms. They're going to be in the description of this and every video that I do. So please help yourself to those, and if you can, help out this channel with a donation. I greatly appreciate it. Let's start with the winners in this game. Saints get it done 20-12. It looked like it was going to be another Saints victory, and it was going to be smooth sailing. They went to halftime up 14-3. You felt like they're going to run away with this. They're not done scoring. They're going to get to 27, 28 points in this game, and the Bears simply can't go that high. If the Bears are going to beat you, excuse me, it's going to be in a low-scoring affair. The Bears are going to beat you. They're going to beat you 17-16. 20-17, 23-17, something along those lines. You get up into the upper 20s, low 30s, you got them. They can't score that many points unless you help them score that many points. And as long as you're not turning it over like the Panthers did last week with pick sixes and fumbles, scooping scores, they're not putting up that kind of damage, okay? So I said with them already having 14 at the half, Saints are well on their way to 27, 30 points in this game. They're going to win going away. And they struggled in the second half. And so we'll start there offensively with this football team. I thought Drew Brees was outstanding in this game. He only had 5 incompletions, 23 of 28 for 299, so essentially 300 yards. They weren't able to find the end zone via the passing game, but I thought Brees was outstanding in just distributing the football around. And I told you, this Saints offense is at its best when everyone's getting touches, when you're including the tight ends, when Josh Hill got 2 catches, and Kobe Fleener's got 4 catches, and Michael Thomas has got 5 or 6 catches, and Willie Snead has got 4 or 5 catches, and then Brandon Coleman's got 3 or 4 catches. When he's distributing the football, Kamara's got 6 catches. Ingram's got another 2 out of the backfield. When the ball is being disseminated amongst the skill guys like that, this team's pretty hard to stop. It's when they have to force feed it to a guy 12 or 13 times. One guy's got 13 or 14 targets. That's when they're in trouble. But when they're spreading the ball and when Drew Brees is spreading the football around the way that he did in this game, they're a tough team to deal with offensively. The only thing that they weren't able to do was cap drives off with touchdowns. And some of that could be the blame of Mark Ingram, who has been having an outstanding season to this point. But he struggled in this game, and Sean Payton was not happy. You saw that on the sidelines when the two had an exchange when he fumbled it for the second time. And that's the only person that can stop Mark Ingram is Mark Ingram. When Mark Ingram's pouting and bitching on the sideline about his lack of touches, or when he's making a mistake and he gets in the doghouse and he starts bitching about that, that's when he's playing some of his worst football. When he's focused, when he realizes what he has to do, when he's holding on to the rock. This isn't the first time Mark Ingram's had a fumble problem, and it won't be the last either. But when he's securing the rock, when he's focused and he's running determined, this guy's one of the better backs in the league. But it's not hard to get him off his game. You force a fumble or two, Sean Payton puts him in the doghouse, and he starts mumbling under his breath, and you can see it impact his game. You can get to Mark Ingram. And the Bears, by forcing those turnovers, they got to Mark Ingram because they got him out of the game late. And like I said, the only person that can stop Mark Ingram is Mark Ingram. He's a hell of a talent. But every now and again, you get fumbling Mark Ingram. And that was in this game. And give the Bears credit. They went in and they got their hands in the cookie jar and they were able to come out with some cookies. Yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, eat them up. But despite though, and I kept waiting on this Saints offense to just pull away. Just pull away. Go score another touchdown. Pull away. They could never do it. Field goals were the method of choice in the second half, whereas touchdowns were their means of scoring in the first half, which is if they would have kept doing that, they would have ran away with this game. But again, credit the Bears defense for not allowing them to get into the end zone. But still, I was waiting for them to pull away, and they just never did. And there's something about this offense this year that has me a little uneasy. Just a little uneasy. Let's go to the defense, and we'll revisit that point. So I'll leave that there with you. this defense, they continue to get the job done. And I've been really impressed with this defense. And I've had several conversations with multiple Saints fans about the growth of this defense and how they've got a lot of young parts and they're learning. And I've been talking about how Marshawn Lattimore is a huge difference maker, because what he does is he brings stability to a secondary that has been shaky for a long time. And now with him playing as confident as he is on one side, now you're seeing it being infectious. Now you're seeing Ken Crawley play at a very high level on the opposite side. And I already told you Marshawn Lattimore's got #1 lockdown, shutdown corner written all over. And the play that he made to seal this game up wasn't a tough play, but it was a good play. I've seen guys drop that football before. And the only thing I would advise him in that situation is get down. Nothing good can come of you running it back other than you scoring a touchdown, which is unnecessary at that point in the game. You've already won. Get down. I've seen bad things happen to teams who want to be greedy in that situation. I know he's a rookie and he's looking for a score, and I get it. Get down, young fella. Get down. But in any event, this defense, they're getting pressure on the quarterback with Cam Jordan and company. There's still some issues stopping the run at times. You saw it in this game. You saw it against Green Bay when they were able to win there last week. Aaron Jones was able to pop them a couple of times. Jordan Howard was able to pop them for a big one in this game. They still got some issues on the ground. You can run against this Saints defense. However, they're getting better against the pass. And the biggest thing is they're finding ways to keep teams out of the end zone. And that's the biggest thing. Look, you can give up all the yards you want. It's all about points in this league. Yards don't win games. Points do. And the Saints are finding ways to keep teams out of the end zone. And I think that's a testament to that pass defense that I'm referencing. Because things become condensed in the red zone. The run defense gets better in the red zone. It's harder to score in the red zone. And the Saints defense is playing better. And here's my hot take. Here's what, and shout out to Will Lutz for continuing to be a really solid kicker for this Saints football team. They're going to need him moving forward if they're going to continue to win. But here's my hot take. Here's the one thought that I had watching this game that I've never had about this Saints team since Peyton and Breeze have come on board. At the end of the game, when the Bears went for it on 4th down and they were stopped, I said, go win the game. Don't settle for a field goal here. Go win the game. Go get a touchdown. Put these boys out of their misery. They settled for a field goal. That gave you an 8-point lead. For the first time, I actually said to myself, I have more confidence in the ability of this Saints defense to get a stop here and preserve the win than I do the Saints offense. That if this game were tied up at 20 and the Saints had the football, for them to go and get the win. That's crazy to me. That's crazy talk. And when I said it, I said, are you serious right now? Are you really saying that to yourself? I truly believed that they were going to get the stop, and they did. And maybe it was because it was the Bears. But I'm losing confidence in the Saints offense and gaining confidence in this Saints defense. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Because I've looked at this Saints offense this year. I haven't been impressed. The most impressive showing they've had offensively wasn't the Detroit game where they scored 52. That was the defense. It was the week 3 win versus Carolina. That was the best offensive performance this team's had all season long. Every other week you look, all those wins that they've accumulated and amassed, it's primarily been because the defense has stood up, made plays, forced turnovers, got scores, short fields, preserved the lead. This offense is kicking field goals. They kicked field goals against Green Bay last week. They kicked field goals in this game in the second half. The offense, if you go back and you look at the numbers of the offense in that Detroit win 3 weeks ago, it was the defense scoring all the points. The offense, Drew Brees didn't have a big day. They didn't offensively have a big day. Ingram had a big day. But it's the defense. I'm not convinced that this offense is about that life anymore. Can they score 30, 33 at the drop of a hat? I'm not sure if that's who they are anymore. But I know this defense can hold you under 27 under 24. Hell, they've been holding teams under 20. Granted, a backup quarterback in Green Bay and a rookie in Chicago. I get it. I understand. But still, they were destroying Matthew Stafford in the Lions before they took their foot off the gas pedal and let those boys score 31 unanswered to cut it to 45-38. It's 45-10 in that game. So, whatever. That was just a thought. Saints fans, correct me if I'm wrong there. But we'll quickly go to the Bears. Look, this defense of the Bears, they're impressive. And they're going to be impressive as long as they stay relatively healthy. They're going to be in ball games because they can run the ball and they can play defense. I've said that already at the top of this show. I've said it for numerous weeks. I said it at the beginning of the season before the season even started, that they're going to be in games. They're going to scare some teams. And they're going to even beat some teams like they did Carolina, like they did Pittsburgh. They're going to win some games they have no business winning, like they did against Baltimore, because they can run the ball and they can play defense. And they're going to create some turnovers and give themselves a shot. Had a chance against Minnesota. They're going to scare some teams. They're not going to always win, but they're going to scare some teams like they did New Orleans in this game. That being said, there are limitations to this football team, and it starts at the quarterback position. There's only so much you can do when you're a quarterback. You have to babysit him, essentially. And Mitchell Trubisky right now needs a strong run game every week, which the Bears have been providing for him, which is going to give him an opportunity to continue to get comfortable. And as you saw in this game, he threw it a lot more than he was asked to do the past 2 weeks. He threw it more in this game than he did the past 2 weeks combined. Keep in mind, he only threw the football, 9 times versus the Panthers? 11? Something like that? In any event, there are limitations, but it was good to see Trey McBride III get involved. I'm so excited for him. A William & Mary product, a guy that I thought the Titans gave on a little too early. Good to see him getting an opportunity to get some run with a team and making the most of it. And for a Bears team that is all types of banged up at receiver, he's getting an opportunity and he's trying to make the most of it. Sort of like your number one receiver coming into the season this year did last year with a ton of injuries. Him going out and making plays and becoming the guy in Chicago before tearing his ACL in the preseason. So I'm excited for Trey McBride. I'm looking for big things from Trey McBride. And if you didn't get to see the injury to Zach Miller, the tight end of the Bears, it was gruesome. And they literally had to do emergency surgery to save his leg. He dislocated his kneecap. His knee literally on the play, his knee turned the other way for a second. Yikes. And I'm just glad they were able to do the surgery and save his leg. He tore a major artery in his knee. Whew. Football could be a gruesome sport sometimes, man. Yikes. But in any event, Saints hold on for the 20-12 victory. They moved to 5-2. 5 straight wins after starting 0-2. Who knew? The Saints will be leading this division after 8 weeks of football after their 0-2 start. Who knew? As for the Bears, 2-game winning streak comes to an end with this loss. They're now 3-5 in the season, but they're going to be competitive all year long. I promise you that. Let's get to some comments that may be out there. Let's see. John Perez says, should the Bears make a trade for a wide receiver so that Mitchell Trubisky can get some comfortable throwing more often? Because at some points, teams are going to figure out the Bears' running game. I don't think you make a trade. I think that's something you address in the offseason, whether it be via free agency or the draft. They're gonna. It's just like Carson Wentz last year. There was really nothing they could do in season, and you don't want to give up assets. You want to build around your young quarterback. So what you're going to do is you're going to go out and you're going to draft guys. You're going to go out. You're going to get guys in free agency, and you're going to get him some targets next year. And that's what they're going to do. And so they'll be fine. Nathan Long says, besides the Eagles, do you think the Saints are the hottest team in the NFL? Absolutely. I mean, they won 5 straight. They're on the longest winning streak right now of any team. Even the Eagles, who are 7-1, aren't on a 5-game winning streak. Wait. I take that back. The Eagles are on a 6-game winning streak. They were 1-1 after they lost to the Chiefs in week 2. and they haven't lost since. So the Eagles are on a 6-game winning streak. The Saints are on a 5-game winning streak. Yeah, outside of the Eagles, the Saints are the hottest team in the league right now. Absolutely, without a doubt. Steve 822009 says, once again, our offense helping opposing teams stay in the game. Luckily, the D is consistently making plays and closing out games. Been years since I could say that. I feel the same way, Steve. I told you how I felt, which I almost felt funny saying to myself. I'm like, Lou, did you just say that to yourself? Yeah, I did. I'm confident in the Saints defense. What? Say that again. I'm confident in the Saints defense. Say it again. No, I'm not going to say it again, but I feel that way. It's crazy. Michael Sack says, how we played from 06 to 09, play okay defense, run the football. A lot of people don't understand that the Saints want to run the football. We always talk Drew Brees. We always talk about Sean Payton and his passing offense. Sean Payton wants to run the football. And how you used to win from 06 to 09 was opportunistic defense. I'll take it a step further. That year you won the Super Bowl, your defense was horrendous. You were in a ton of shootouts. But you know what you did? You got turnovers in that season. There were turnovers galore. The mad rapist was picking off passes at an alarming rate. Of course, you know I'm talking about Darren Sharper and that crew. They were getting turnovers like crazy. This defense is more legit than it has ever been under Sean Payton. You got a chance to do something real this year. Got to stay healthy, and you got to continue. I think you've got to get better on offense to believe it or not, which, again, I feel funny saying, but I feel that way. Michael Sachs also says, is Mark feeling the pressure from Karma taking his job? Nah, you're talking about... excuse me. Alvin Kamara taking his job. No, because Mark is the lead tailback. Kamara is going to get his touches, and Mark's going to get his touches. It's enough rock to go around in that backfield. He's not feeling the pressure. Mark Ingram just fumbles sometimes. That's been a part of who he's been throughout his career. Silver V says, the deep ball between two defenders caught by Ted Ginn just shook my head saying, that's why he's Drew Brees. And is it me or is Ted Ginn balling this year? Like, I've disrespected Teddy ball game enough throughout his career. And he's had some really good seasons. He had a big season in Miami the year they won the division. He had a big year for Carolina 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. He's been outstanding this year. Wherever Teddy ball game goes, winning follows. And he's been a key contributor wherever he's went. So Drew Brees is outstanding. And sometimes you just need a little bit of a reminder. And that throw, just a little bit of a reminder. I'm still here. I'm still Drew Brees. I still can get it done at a really high level. Even though we're not scoring a ton of points. I'm still Drew Brees. Don't count us out. Cloud says the Saints might make the playoffs. Their defense is looking solid. Yeah. I said that if the Saints can continue to play the kind of football that I've seen from their defense, if they can stay healthy, and Lattimore's got injury history. We've seen their defensive players get injured. Ken Crawley has been banged up before. We've seen this story with them. If they can just stay healthy, I think the Saints, and I said one or the other between the Saints and the Falcons are going to fall off. I think it could even be Carolina for that matter. All three of those teams aren't making it to the playoffs. I think two of those teams have a realistic shot. Somebody's going to fall off. And I don't think it's going to be the Saints team. The more and more I watch them, the more and more I start to believe that this Saints team is for real. Steve says, good point, Luke. Get the hell down, Lattimore. LOL. Yeah, I was like, hey, bro, what you doing? Game's over. Get down. Nothing good could come of this. I know you want a touchdown, but just get down. We've won already. Just get down. Steve also says, I feel you're losing confidence in the O, gaining confidence in the D, and just like you, I had all the faith in the world that the D would end it yesterday. And which is crazy. It's blowing my mind because I haven't felt that way about a Saints defense ever. Since The Dome Patrol. Like, not since Peyton and Breeze have come on board, I haven't felt that way about the Saints defense. It's crazy. Donald Woods Jr. says, what about that catch by Ted Ginn Jr.? And we talked about it already. Hell of a catch. And, I mean, hell of a throw. And you can't defense the perfect pass. We've said that a number of times. And it's so true. And you saw it again. And Ted has just been money for you guys this year, which is, again, I think it's time for us to start giving Ted Ginn Jr. some credit. You know, everywhere he goes, he produces. Miami, Carolina, now New Orleans. Teddy, the only place that he wasn't a huge factor in was Arizona. This guy's been amazing for him. Who Dat for Life says, need Snead back for third down. That's missing on Saints offense. And I said that earlier in the season when you were struggling was you need Willie Snead as your chain mover. And I think once you get him back, maybe it'll change some things, but I don't know if that changes your red zone offense, which you struggled there as well, other than when you've been able to run it in with Ingram. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. John Perez says, would you go crazy if the Bears made the playoffs, which they haven't done in a while? I hope they do because Bears fans deserve better than what having to watch bad football year after year. They're not making the playoffs this year, but if they give John Fox some time, he'll turn that thing around and he'll make them a winner. Nathan Long says, with the way Lattimore has been playing, I honestly don't think the conversation at the end of the year should be for the Rookie of the Year. It should be where he ranks in the top 10 of corners. I don't know if we can put him in that discussion yet because it's 1 year. I want to see him do it for multiple years before we start talking about top 10 and you know, this and that discussion. He's definitely in the top half of the league in terms of starting corners. You know, is he right now, is he playing like a top 16 corner? Yeah. Is he playing like a top half of the league starting number one corner? Yep, he is. Is he playing like a top 10 corner? Yeah, but I wouldn't elevate him over some of the other corners in the league just yet. I put some number twos over him just because of consistency. But tell you what, Lattimore is playing at a ridiculous level right now. No doubt about it. So, that being said, it's going to do it for this breakdown. Saints get the win 20-12 over the Bears. Bears were ultra competitive in the second half. They would not go away after trailing 14-3 at the half. They chipped away, could never fully come all the way back, though. Did get the touchdown after the Ingram fumble by Cohen, which gave them an opportunity, but they just fell short in this game. 20-12. Saints hold on, and now they're 5-2, winners of 5 straight, playing outstanding football. And they got a big one next week, if I'm not mistaken, this Saints team. I think they're at home versus Tampa Bay as they look to go to 2-0 in the division, which is huge because that's what this division is going to come down to. Someone's going to win this division because of their divisional record. Already having one on the road at Carolina and a struggling Bucs team coming to your place, got to take care of business if you are the New Orleans Saints. Wow, Bears stop. Bears 2 game winning streak comes to a halt with this loss as they drop to 3-5 on the season. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Got 3 more games to break down here on Lockdown Coverage, including 2 really good games, including the game of the week, possibly game of the year candidate in Seattle, Houston. Also, really good game in the Meadowlands as the Jets just fell short to the Falcons. And then we got an ass whooping mixed in with the Eagles destroying the 49ers. All of that to come leading up to Monday Night Football. Don't go anywhere. More Lockdown coverage to come. I'm your man Louie T signing off, but I'll see you in a second. Be right back.